Thank you for tuning in to TTV. I'm your host, Toya, and today is Meditation Monday. Yay! So, how do you meditate for self improvement? To make yourself better, to become your true self, to get rid of some things that you might not want in your life, like stress. How do you use meditation to help with that? Well, I'm about to tell you. So, everybody is on a journey to try to improve some areas of their life, whether it's how you react to things, whether it's the stress that you have in your life, whether it's just being more focused, whatever your reason for going through this self-improvement journey, because it is just that, it's a journey. Okay, that we all should be on. Some people are not, but should be. But it's one of those where if you're coming across videos like this is probably something that you're looking for, and you're looking for ways of changing and actually becoming a better version of yourself, which is what this channel is all about. So one of the things that I do, I still take classes, I still participate in areas, in programs and things like that to improve even on myself, because I'm not perfect. I don't strive to be perfect. Well, let me change that. I do strive to be perfect. But I strive to be perfect knowing I never will be, if that makes sense to you. So you can strive for perfection, you can strive to be the best person, but really I'm just trying to be the best version of myself. With my flaws, with my perfections, like just the whole thing is just trying to be the best version of yourself. So that when that time comes to where you leave this place, you can leave with no regrets or feeling bad about the choices that you made or things that you did, because you lived your best version. So along the lines in learning self-improvement and things like that, you come across behaviors that you may have that you don't want anymore. And that's where you come across the behavior modification or your self-improvement. So that could be maybe you're too stressed, maybe you drink too much, maybe you eat too much, maybe you get angry too quick, maybe you just can't focus. Whatever the reason, whatever the cause is, or whatever that behavior is that you no longer want, that you can use meditation to try to help alleviate it and try to help change those behaviors. One of the first things you have to do, though, is identify them. So identify what the behavior is that you don't like that you have. So for me, I can be quick tempered sometimes, So for me, my behavior modification that I would like is to be less quick tempered, which how I am now and how I was when I was a teenager and going through high school and college is completely different. So yes, I have improved and I've gotten much, much, much better at it. I'm not as hot tempered as I used to be when I was younger. So I have improved over the years, but it's still an area that I still work on because I don't want to go back. I don't want to backtrack. And so one of the ways that you do this is you discover or figure out what your triggers are. So what triggers you to have those behaviors that you do not like? Like for me, one of my triggers is when people talk to other people like they're less than human. That's a trigger for me. And that's going to really take me and set me off. Don't talk to me like I'm beneath you, or like I'm not just as much of a human as you are. And don't talk to them over there like they less than human to you, because that's one of my triggers. But you can't always pop off, as we say. You can't pop off all the time when you're in a public situation, or even if it's somebody like with family or things like that. You can't go there all the time. Sometimes you have to control yourself and control your actions, because controlling it and coming across in a more controlled manner sometimes is more effective than popping off. So that's the first thing you want to do, is you want to figure out what triggers those emotions, what triggers that behavior, what triggers you to go about it. So let's say your trigger is stress. Okay. Well, what's the biggest stressor that everybody has? It's work. Okay. Work is your biggest stressor. So you can use meditation to help with that stress, with that trigger. How? Well, you sit down and you meditate. Like me, before I used to, when I was going to work, before when we were actually going into the office, I would actually come to work early. I would get there about 5-10 minutes early. Actually, no, about 15 minutes early. And I would sit in the car and just de-stress. I will get myself prepared. I will go over and set up how my day is going to go. Like, I'm going to have an easy day. My calls are going to be good. I'm not going to have any stresses. I'm not going to get any, disgruntled calls. Like, I would set that up. I would sit there and I would, in my car, and I would meditate on that to set it up. so that when I went into that building, I can go in with a good mood, good demeanor, and I had overall good calls where I didn't come across those problem calls too often. I didn't get those issues too often. And if I did, I was able to resolve it or to diffuse the person on the other line that was angry and upset. And that was because I took that moment in that morning to really focus and meditate on it. And that lessened the stress for my day. Now, let's say that's not the issue. Maybe let's say your issue is, like I said, with mine is, anger, like popping off, being quick tempered. If that's the case, then you just start your day off again meditating. Like when you first wake up, meditate on that. Today is going to be a good day. I'm calm. I'm safe. Everything is peaceful. I'm happy. You meditate on those feelings. You can even meditate imagining somebody coming at you in that manner that will trigger you, and you responding in a different way. So you visualize and feel yourself respond in different ways if that situation does come throughout your day. Maybe what you have is addiction, like drug or food or something like that. Same thing. You feel that urge to go get that drink, meditate. Ask yourself, why do I want this? What is triggering me to want this and need this so bad? Because to be honest with you, I actually heard somebody tell me that it only takes 3 days for your body to get over any addiction that you have. 3 days for your body to get over it. But it's the mental part of it in your mind that you have to get fixed. That's the part where the withdrawal comes in. That's the part where the body responds to your emotion and your thought process. But honestly, it's only 3 days to get rid of whatever addiction that you have. So if it takes 3 days to get rid of an addiction for your body on a cellular level to get over it, then the rest of the time and the rest of that you're going through is mental. It's the psychology of it. So why are you doing this to yourself? Why are we going through this? Okay, and I'm not saying there isn't any physiological reasons. Like when people go through withdrawal, it is a serious thing. There are people who died going through withdrawal. But what I am saying is that there are ways to help lessen that desire, help to lessen that hold that comes over you that makes you want it and forces you to get up and go get it. So if it's a cigarette you want, why do you want that cigarette so bad? So meditate on it. Meditate on yourself feeling like you no longer need it. Meditate on yourself like it's disgusting. Meditate on yourself and how it makes you feel sick. And when you do that, you can start actually changing it physically. I can't get it out right now, but physically you can actually change how you respond to it. It's kind of like the Pavlov Effect. Pavlov, why can't I talk today? Pavlov Effect, whatever. What it was a psychologist who he would ring a bell and give the dogs the food. And so it came to the point where they would ring the bell and the dog will automatically start to salivate at the mouth, salivate at the mouth just because they wanted the food. So it's the same thing. It's programming you. If you're going to have a behavior and you're going to program yourself for something you might as well do it for something you want and not for something that you don't want. So if you sit back and you start meditating on that not being good for you, or like let's say it's food, meditate on being satisfied with smaller portions. Meditate on loving mushrooms, because I don't like mushrooms. I mean, I like mushrooms, but I'm a texture person, so some of them textures and some of the mushrooms, like the button mushrooms and the portobellas, I gotta mince them up really fine. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But let's say that's what it is. Then you would just meditate on liking and enjoying mushrooms and that texture. So eventually what happens is you'll start to crave it and you'll start to want it. Same thing with the cigarette. If you don't want the cigarettes anymore, and then start tasting something bad, like it's disgusting. Like think of the worst taste you ever had in your life and meditate on that taste with you smoking. And eventually you're just not going to desire it anymore. You can even meditate on feeling bad. Like feeling like you can't breathe, or feeling like your stomach is upset, or like you're about to throw up or something like that after when you smoke cigarettes. So the bad taste and the feeling upset, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start to no longer want those cigarettes. So that's Now, let me put my disclaimer out here. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I don't do any of that. This is just information that I have learned over the years that I'm sharing with you. So, is it FDA approved? No. Is it something that you want to work with your doctor? Yeah, work with your doctor on it. But this is just information that I'm providing to you that I have learned and I've come across during my 45 years of living. Okay? So, am I an expert at this? No. So if you feel like you still need to go seek professional help, seek professional help. There's nothing wrong with it. You can use the tips that I'm giving you along with what they're telling you to do and, to improve. But you can use meditation to help improve those areas in your life and the areas that you have that you want to improve on, to fix those behaviors that you no longer like. So, that's the message for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share. And place your comments below. I was told, too, that some of you may have been having issues or difficulties putting comments down. And I believe it was because of a setting that I had on YouTube. So I changed that for this video. So hopefully you can leave comments if you choose to. But I love you guys, and I will talk to you later.